I did, bro. Bro, I know how to. Are you talking about her?
Welcome to Level Up, where we sit down with highly regarded business women and men, and they sit down and they teach you the gems to how to be successful in business. I'm your girl OC, the CEO of OC Business Development. Today I'm sitting down with Clara.
Hello everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. This is my first time, so and everything's gonna be cameras.
It's gonna be fun. So why don't you start by telling our audience a little bit about you, where you grew up and how you got to where you are.
So my name is Clara. I'm a Haitian American. I'm an accountant. I have my own accounting firm, which I do accounting for corporations, S corps, LLCs, trusts, nonprofits. So I help businesses basically maneuver through their tax debt, through anything that has to do basically with tax and accounting. I also help businesses start out, find out what entity they want to be in.
So if I was somebody just starting off and I had this idea, I want to start a shoe company, I could come to you and be like, hey, I don't know if I should file an LLC or a DBA. Could you help me?
Yeah, so a lot of people have that issue where they start a business and they don't know, they automatically just go, everybody says, oh, I'm going to start LLC, I'm going to start LLC, but they don't know if that's going to be the best tax bracket for them. So sometimes it's best to be an S corp if you make less than $250,000 a year, because you get big tax breaks being with the S corp. The thing is with the S corps, sometimes it costs more money to prepare an S corp, and you have to do a lot more with the IRS with the S corp. So that's why a lot of people do the LLCs. But I recommend that people always go to an accountant to get those things done.
So come to someone like yourself before I just go online to Sunbiz and I just register my business.
Or go on Google and start Googling what should I do. Yes.
That's why we're here today. So question, when it comes to a DBA versus the LLC, what do you feel like is the main difference for someone who's just starting out and testing the waters with their business?
So DBA is basically doing business as, so you're doing business as a sole proprietor.
Okay.
An LLC, you can be a single member or you can be a multi-member. So it lets you branch out into two different entities.
Got it.
So you can be LLC and you can be an S corp. But if you're a DBA, you're solely just a sole proprietor.
Okay. That makes sense. So I want to get a little into personal. So why don't you tell us, where did you grow up?
So I grew up first with my dad in Haiti, and then he came back to America with me, with my mom.
Nice.
They got married. They've been married so many times, but they got married, and so I started here in school. I grew up on Mercy Drive first.
Okay.
I grew up on Mercy Drive. At first, I didn't know how to speak English, so my mom had me watching PBS Kids.
Yeah.
So I could learn how to speak English and stuff, because I would go to school and not know what they were saying. So after that, we moved to Pine Hills. I started going to school there, Ridgewood Park.
Yeah.
And I, went to middle school, went to Dr. Phillips.
Oh, nice.
And I decided I wanted to go to college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Most in the Haitian community, they want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, but I'm not really good at that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So
it wasn't your path.
Yeah, I just went in just to go because, I didn't think I had any talent, and then my parents wanted me to go to college. So I walked into the counseling place, and I remember it was this lady named Lily. She had these big old glasses, and she was like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" I was like, I think maybe like political science or something, because I like watching the news. And she was like, "Oh, you're not gonna make any money."
Oh,
and
straight up.
I was like, "So what should I do?" She was like, "Are you good with numbers and stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she made me take one accounting class just to try it out. And I really liked it. I was good at it. And I met a lot of other people. There wasn't a lot of girls like me in the class, but I got, because it was so male dominant, I felt like, I was really powerful in it because I was so good at it.
I like it.
Yeah, so I stayed and I continued, transferred to USF and decided, I want to be a CPA.
So question, because when you think accounting, you just think numbers. You got to be good at numbers. In high school, were you getting A's in math, or was it kind of like something that you grew into?
I I think, not to brag, I didn't get my first B until like this semester, my last semester.
Well, shout out to you.
Yeah.
Where did the change come from? Where did the shit come from?
Ooh.
Work.
I think just full-time job,
Yeah.
and then like tax season,
Mm-hmm.
having my own family and stuff, and taking care of my parents is like, this semester is like,
Yeah.
I think one of the hardest semesters for me. So
Understood.
getting through that, I was like, I'll take that B. It's good.
A B is still good at the
Yes.
end of the day.
B's get degrees.
We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be
Yes.
straight A students, but
Mhm.
a B is still good.
Yes.
When we slip into the C, then it's like, okay, we gotta check ourselves. Like, hold on, what we doing
C's
here?
don't get degrees, but B's get degrees.
They do. So I have a question, kind of steering back to, high school and college. When you say that you were always a straight A student, when did you realize that that was your strong point? Was it when you did have that initial sit down with her and she kind of steers you away from the other career?
I honestly just, when I tell people I went to school just to go to school, I really did. It was something I was good at, but honestly, I didn't like school. I just did it to please my parents, but I honestly wanted to be like, I wanted to be like an actor or something. Like
Yeah.
But Haitian parents, they're like, that's not gonna make you no money. You need to go to school, have a backup plan.
I get it.
But so I went into accounting not even knowing if I was gonna like it, and I really did like it. So shout out to Miss Lily.
Okay. See, she knew what she was doing.
Yes.
So when it comes to accounting, I know like around right now with tax season and everything going on with like all these kickbacks and stimuluses, this must be like a really busy time for you. Is it normal like that, or is it like this year more than ever it's been like the most high?
Yeah, this year has been very crazy. Like, people trying to get loans, grants,
Mhm.
so they're trying to redo their taxes the way they were supposed to do their taxes
Okay.
the first time. And everybody trying to start a business now.
Yeah.
Everybody, want to be an entrepreneur. They want to be a boss.
True.
So a lot of business startups, trying to navigate people to building their business credit so they can obtain grants and loans to, get more successful.
We
So
spoke about that too.
yes, so it's a lot going on right now. And then plus I'm in school still,
Mhm.
so tax season has been very crazy. The IRS is backed up. You see they extended the tax day.
I
So
seen that. Yeah.
people calling me thinking I got their stimmy check.
I seen you're very you post a lot of
Mhm.
good content on
Yeah.
Instagram. So sometimes I'm even checking your page to see
Aw.
what's the updates with this tax
Yes.
situation, what they doing with the stimulus.
I got an update for you tomorrow.
Okay, I'll be there. So I have a question. When it comes to an accountant, what do you feel like your role is with helping businesses? Like, what do you feel like if I was coming to you, what should I be coming to you for ideally?
When you say come to me, do you mean as an individual or as a business?
Okay, so we can look at it from two spectrums. As a business owner.
So coming to me as a business owner, I think you should come with an idea.
Okay.
All I need is an idea. When people give me their ideas, I tell them what's going on in that industry, because I'm really intensive in every industry. So the food industry,
Okay.
music industry, athlete industry, because I actually want to get into actually being CPAs for athletes.
Okay.
So any industry that you do, I tell you come with me with the idea. I do my research. I tell you what entity you should start as. We start with a budget, because people go into businesses and they don't got a budget. They just spend money.
Mhm.
So you go in with a budget, and then you start your books. We go on what tax revenue you need to go to, what tax,
Okay.
how to say tax path, and
Okay.
that's how you start out.
So for someone who's looking to be an accountant, you would say that it's really important for them to study different industries.
Yes.
And what's trending?
Because tax has so many different parts.
Okay.
There's audit, there's, so accounting has different parts. I said tax.
Okay.
Accounting has different parts. There's audit, there's regulations, there's financial reporting.
Okay.
So that's why the CPA exam is 4 parts, because there's so many different parts of being an accountant. So I tell people, whatever industry you are in with accounting, you have to study everything, because
So it's work.
you need an accountant for everything, literally.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yes.
Especially as a business owner. I know that a lot of entrepreneurs try to do it all themselves. They're like, hey, I have QuickBooks, I'll be good. I have my payroll situated, I'll be good. But it's always ideal to bring on someone like yourself, especially as you start to make more money.
Exactly.
Because like
the more money you make, the more tax you're gonna owe.
Exactly.
The more rules you're gonna have to abide. So a lot of business owners, after you make $250,000, you like in a different tax bracket. So the IRS wants you to give them at least 40% of that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to give them 40%. You could lower your tax bracket and keep your income at a high rate. But people sometimes don't, they want to do the QuickBooks, but QuickBooks can't give you that income statement. They can't give you those chart of accounts. So that's why I tell people it's really important to, after you start making a lot of money, get yourself an accountant.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. So as a whole, when it comes to like the services you provide, I know we touched on you help businesses file for their entities and you help with accounting. Are there any additional services that you offer?
So I do income verification too. Some people who can't afford an accountant and they need to obtain grants. So I do business plans and what I call business verification income. So I provide like a 40-page plan for you to give to the bank or any investors, creditors, shareholders of your company, and it basically says about your business, basically like a 3-year, I give like a 3-year profit, like what you can make in 3 years. So I calculate it with my own calculations. So I help people obtain up to, $500,000 in grants and loans doing that.
Wow. So it's key to have a good accountant on your side because they can open up doors for your business.
Exactly.
All right. So we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I would like to know what certifications or what classes did you have to take to get to where you are as, an accountant that is doing really good in business?
Okay, so when I first started, I went to a community college because I wanted to save money.
Okay.
So I had to take 60 credits there, which is, 15 classes. So I got 60 credits there, and because it's like 3 credits per hour. And then I transferred to a big university where I obtained an extra 150 credits. And then right now I'm in my master's. You gotta get 120 credits for that, so that's another 10 classes.
Okay.
So I'm in my last class right now.
All right.
And then you apply to take the CPA, so you become a CPA candidate. It's 4 parts. They give you a certain amount of time to do the 4 parts. So right now I'm on the first part.
Okay.
So
well, that's good.
So basically my bachelor's and master's.
All right, that's nice. That's work that you put in. But as she is showing you guys here today, it is accomplishable. It can be done. It just takes time, dedication. What else would you say?
I just think focus, believing in yourself, because you're gonna have those moments where you just don't want to do nothing, you just want to sleep in your bed. But I think it's just believing in yourself and knowing that you got this. Don't listen to anybody's other comments. Anybody that's not doing what you're doing is not really, you don't need to listen to that.
It's not relevant.
Yeah.
It's not relevant. Keep positive energy around you.
Exactly.
Stay on track because your goals are within reach, but you have to be serious about it at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So what I would say is, in the accounting field, I know that there have to be some challenges. Because as in any business, it's not all ups, even though we like to think that even like some of the biggest CEOs in business are doing good and there's nothing that ever comes up. So what do you feel like, in your field may not be like the biggest challenge that you face, but in general, maybe you've seen like, colleagues face when it comes to opening up your own branch and, having a storefront location for your business?
I think being entrepreneur period is hard. Like people think it's all because you don't gotta work for nobody. It's like it's fun and games. Like you see these CEOs on their yachts, but it's not. They work for it. They work hard for it. So I think a lot of communication and dedication, because honestly, I work more than I would if I had a 9-to-5 job. Like I'll start early, I sleep late. So I think really just dedicating all that you got, like in the moments, like while you're young, dedicate everything you got. Like look at Jeff Bezos. Man started out in his garage, even though he got a loan from his parents, but he still
somewhere.
He started somewhere.
Yeah.
He worked it out. He worked it out for 17 years. He worked his butt off until he's where he's at now. So
sitting somewhere.
Yes.
I don't know how he doing personally, but
he retiring,
so
to
someone like us, good.
Yes, so I really think it's all about dedicating yourself. And like I said, don't speak to anybody that's irrelevant because they're going to discourage you.
Mhm.
When I was right out of college, a lot of people told me, oh, everybody doing taxes, everybody doing taxes. I'm like, I'm not just doing taxes,
Yeah.
I'm an accountant. You know, I do everything a lot of tax preparers don't do.
Absolutely.
So I tell people, don't listen to discouraging words. It's all about how you hustle and the hard work you put in. Every sweat that you put in is gonna come back. Everything's gonna come back.
I completely agree.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Feel good real quick?
Yep.